Good afternoon. It's me yet again. So, listen, the more I think about my experiences as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I cannot stop laughing about some of the things I recall, and I think it's important for me to share these now while they're fresh in my mind, because, excuse me, they're simply hilarious. And if any of you out here who are watching these videos right now recall the 5 meetings a week that we used to have, in particular the weekly book study arrangement. So the way this works is on typically a Monday, Tuesday, or Saturday night we had this book study arrangement where we would study out of a 192-page book, and it was designed to keep us spiritually on track for the week. And it was just about an hour, and it was typically held in someone's house. And my dad at one point was a conductor at this sister's house. I mean, she was a great woman. I loved her to death. Her name was Jeri, and I won't say any more than that. But I love Jeri Mahone to death. She's the sweetest woman. Her ex-husband, committed suicide, and so we all loved her for our various reasons. And she had some hot daughters. There's no doubt about that. They're a little bit too old for me, but as a young man, you can imagine, going over to the book study. I'm like, hey, where's your daughter? She's cute. They're cute. They're good-looking women. So, but at the end of the day, we loved Jeri, and we all did. But my dad, however, had a thing for this woman. I'm just telling you the truth. He just loved her to death, and I think he had a thing for her. So he was a conductor of the book study. So basically, what you had is down in the family room, you had my dad as a conductor, and then maybe someone sitting next to him who's a reader. Basically, you read the paragraphs, and then my dad as a conductor would then ask the questions. And it was great. You were a better conductor if you could come up with all sorts of auxiliary and ancillary questions that could really probe and cause people to think, and so forth. So we sat at the head. And then I was a ministerial servant, so several times when I got to read, and then other brothers would read, but we had about 20 people in the audience. And so, when the questions were being asked, people would raise their hand, and invariably and without dispatch, my dad would call on Jeri. And Jeri, again, beautiful woman, had the longest comments of anybody. Just to give you an example, maybe the question was, paragraph 19, how is God a God of love? Instead of saying something simple like, hey, God created mankind and He sent His Son to sacrifice His life for us, Jeri would say, well, back in the day when I was 12, I remember riding my bike down the hill, and I fell and broke my knee. And when I did break my knee, my mother brought water to me and a batch of cookies. And with those cookies came milk. And even though I didn't drink the milk, I liked the water, which made me really think about how much God and Jehovah really loves me, because He provided this milk and this water. And it was really important for me to have the milk and the water, because the milk was heavy, and I needed to dilute the milk with water. And that really helped me to appreciate the love that God had for His creation, that He created the water to dilute my milk so I can have my cookies and not have additional fat in the milk to go along with the cookie. And as I grew up, my appreciation for God's Word deepened over the milk and the water that He has continued to give to me, and on and on and on she would go. And my dad would sit there with this goofy look on his face like, yeah, give me more. And anything Jeri would say, he just thought the heavens had opened up and rained down some just incredible amount of knowledge. We were all left stunned, confused, and just tired. And people would raise their hands, and Jeri would raise her hand, and he would go right to her. And as I got a little older, I started watching. I started seeing things. I started noticing my dad had his hand in his pocket all the time. I'm like, what's that about? Why are you calling Jeri and put your hands in your pockets? That gave me a great amount of pause. But anyway, The weekly family book study was pretty hilarious, and then afterwards sometimes we would have drinks and food served or whatever the case may be, and it was just pretty hilarious. So Jeri, hats off to you. I love you to death. I think you're a wonderful woman, but I just couldn't resist the story, because it was just pretty much that way every single book study night. So anyway, I probably have a lot of other stories I can think about. I can share in terms of the family, the weekly book study. But I'm going to leave that alone for now, and see what other humorous stories I can come up with. Thank you very much for listening. Have a good day.